Hello everyone, I am Pritham and we are going to study Python. Before studying Python, I will show you some slides and the slide says why learn Python. The slide courtesy goes to Mr. Carolis and I have downloaded this slide from slideshare.net. So if I ask you to choose which one of language you want to know, so you have many more languages to know like C, C++, Java, Ruby, Visual Studio, Lua, Python, .NET, like MathWorks, COBOL, Pascal and many more. So which one you choose actually for your future if you want to be a software engineer and to learn the language in very quick manner, in very quick time, which one you have to choose? I suggest you and I humbly suggest you go for Python. Okay, as the name says, Python, it actually a snake name, the slow moving snake. Okay, so likewise, the Python language is actually slow language, okay, than that of other language. Still, I recommend you to learn Python and I will explain why you should learn Python. So some top US universities actually choosing Python in introduction language. So when you in India, when you come to engineering, in India when you are pursuing engineering, the first language you are learning the C language. Then after C++. So in top US universities, they actually choose Python as the introduction language. Then after Java, MATLAB, C, C++. So there are many more companies who are actually using Python language, starting from Quora, EDX, Uber, Google, and you can go for IBM, YouTube, NASA, and many more things are there. Everyone is maximum of the companies are actually using Python language. So what is the big deal about Python and why everyone asking to learn Python? The first point will be easy to learn, and the syntax will be very clean syntax. Actually it is not when we have learned C++ programming, and we can see the syntax will be a jumbled syntax. It's difficult to remember many different new words which you are normally not using in your lifestyle. But in Python the syntax is be clean and you are actually using those syntax in your day-to-day life. Comprehensive standard library, you know what is library? So all the syntax will be kept into a place that is called library, and you can without defining or declaring those syntax, if you define the library, then all syntax will be applicable for the program. We have excellent documentation, so the programmer actually create all the documents, beautiful documents. If you learn this, if you study this document, you can learn everything. Immediacy of writing and running a script. The best thing is it actually using an interpreter. There is a difference between compiler and interpreter. Compiler means it actually when you write the program, after writing the program, compiler compile all the lines or all the codes, then it gives the answer. But interpreter will compile the program line by line. It is general purpose and least comprehensive. Okay, let's say we are going to print hello world. In the line 2, where we have given a command print in the bracket, we inverted a comma hello world. When this command comes, the compiler, when this command comes in line 2 and when you hit enter, the interpreter will actually print hello world. Okay, so and you can see there is a print command in line 6 also, print square, and here there is no inverted commas. So there is a difference between these two. So in line 2, directly whatever the things written in between the inverted comma, that will be printed and as the output. But in the line 6, what is there inside the bracket, that is not a string. Instead it is actually a variable, and the variable equation is given in fifth line, that squares is equal to x cos 2 for x in range of 10. That means it actually print the square starting from 0 to 9. Okay, In below you can see there are two output. One is hello world and second one will be 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64 and 81. These are the squares of zeros to 9. Okay, now it's come, but Python is slow. If Python is slow, then why you are going to study and why you are going to use Python? The most of the time does not matter. Why? Python boosts the developer time, and that's what matters most. The Bill Gates says that I gave the most difficult work to a lazy person because the lazy person will find the best way to compute the tasks in very quick time. Okay, so if you compare between Python and C++, the total lines if you take to compute the program in Python, if the total lines of command will be 130 lines, that is equivalent to 1580 lines for C++ and 90% there. Python is a 90% language. You should not depend fully on Python. Most of the job can done by Python, but not all. It will help you to get almost any task done in 90% of the cases. The first Googlers, that Larry Page, Sergey, and they says that Python where we can and C++ where we must. Okay, let's see the application areas. It includes scientific computing. It is a third pillar of science. So in science says that is a theoretical analysis. Second one will be the experiment analysis. And nowadays we are going for scientific computing. The third pillars of science standing right next to the theoretical analysis and experiment for scientific discovery. Python is the most widely used for this purpose. So we have uses many more packages before Python, that is a SciPy. It solves the common science and engineering tasks. Then NumPy, the multi-dimensional array and matrices. Then Matplotlib, it actually plot the plotting graphs and all the 3D graphs, 2D graphs. Then Pandas, the high performance, easy to use data structures and data analysis tools. And SciPy, it will be symbolic mathematics library. So next one will be the data science. Here also you can use Python. Data science is a big buzzword. Nevertheless, Python plays a crucial role there. Okay, if you go for machine learning, we actually use scikit-learn and TensorFlow. These are the languages or these are the platform we are using for machine learning. Likewise, for data engineering, we use PySpark. For data analysis, we use NumPy and Pandas. For data mining, we use PySpider and ScarPy. Likewise, for data visualization, we use Matplotlib. It actually create the graphics graph tools. Again, we can see the Python can also be used for web development. Nowadays, most of the people are interested for web development because web development is a platform where by sitting in your home using a very like Windows XP kind of thing or without any tools, simple you can have a notepad in a computer, you can do the development. Okay, so for web development we have some like Job, Sonic, Flask, Pyramid and all the framework, and HTML, XML, those are inbuilt support for internet protocols. Okay, so email processing, FTP, socket interface, those are the important things. Python plays a crucial role, a vital role also. We can do web development in Python also. Nowadays computer vision is take a vital role for like when let's say you have designed one system which actually switch off your fan and light if there is no movement in your home. Okay, or you can say there is a street light. Whenever you approach near to the street light or when a vehicle approach near to the street light, the street light glows, and when you went out from the street light, it actually switch off the light. That is the computer vision. Okay, the sensor vision, you can say. That means it actually when find something, it will do the task. Likewise, you can see the in pictures with respect to the positions of the human being, the computer actually guess what will the step will be. The computer vision is concerned with the automatic extraction, analysis, and understanding of useful information from a single image or a sequence of images. We are using some packages before, the simple CV, open CV, PCV, and nowadays we can use Python for this computer vision also. Nowadays people are very interested for computer gaming or mobile gaming. They actually do not go for physical gaming anyhow. Without going to that field, the game development is also a good thing. So it need actually high processing speed and high GUI, graphic user interface. So previously you can use a Blender, Turtle, Kiwi, Panda 3D, and all this language for developing the games. Some some beautiful games are EVE Online, Pirates of Caribbean, and those games are actually also can be developed in Python language. And here we are in embedded programming, and we study this IoT, the basically electrical students, the computer science students, the mechanical students, they study Python for embedded programming. 95% of embedded systems code is C++. When you code the microcontrollers like your 8085, 8051, your Arduino, your peak, so you are actually coding C++ language, and Python is starting to get used more and more. So in place of C++, you can also write Python language, because I told a 1580 lines is equivalent to 130 lines of Python. So some microcontrollers are microbit, Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and all things Python subset. And the Python is actually optimized for the microcontroller. So the Python we are going to study is used for computer, and those Python also again are optimized for the microcontroller or microcomputer boards. We have some other application like shell scripting, embedded scripting, language processing, system administration, desktop GUI, graphics, user interface. Probably dozens of more applications are there. For each of the application area listed in the previous slides, there is a probably an even better language. Okay, so like gaming, you can have better language, like data processing, you can have better language. But if you learn Python, you can do all. It's kind of master in it's kind of bachelor in everything, but master in nothing. For scaling, Java should be better. For computer vision, machine learning, C++ would be the best. For game development, lots of choice can be there, better than Python. But still, Python can do all, right? So, however, Python will get a better 90% in any scenario. The development speed and flexibility as a future, ability to mix and match. What is the future of Python? We have TIOBE index. It counts the heat of search queries containing language. So in Google, we have very often are getting searches queries in language programming. So Python staying a quite stable over the year. You can see from the plot, the blue one, dark blue one will be the Python plots. The first one, PYPL, its popularity of language. We have an index. The PYPL is based on Google Trends measured keywords for language tutorial. So Python grew the most in the last 5 years, from starting from 5 to 17. You can see the Java is quite stable, PHP little bit going down, and Python growing like anything. So we have also Red Monk ranking. Red Monk features on computing language discussion through Stack Overflow, and uses through GitHub projects. Okay, It says that Python is the fifth language for all the people who want to learn languages. IEEE Spectrum, it has also a ranking, and it says that most compressive task, and it says that IEEE Spectrum ranking, it says that most comprehensive ranking of all. It have a track of Google search, Google Trends, Twitter, GitHub, Stack Overflow, Reddit, Hacker News, and many more things. Among all the languages, Python is the third language. First will be C and second will be Java. So, what is the future of Python? Python moving from version 2 to 3. Now in 2020, we are using Python 3. So transition actually done. Python 2 can be regarded as a legacy Python, and Python 3 as just a Python. So who should learn Python? A beginner also can learn Python. I have children from Lithuania start Python learning in the school itself. Professional in some area across area wanting to speed their development process. Some embedded engineers, computer vision engineers, data science engineers, web developers, some general software engineers, system administrator, and lots of others. They can learn Python. And if you do not want to do anything, and you are not doing anything, then learn Python also. So we have some best resources for learning Python. I can say if you want to read Fluent Python. Okay, it's a book written by Luciano. And if you want to solve the programming skills challenges, you can go for codewars.com. Then if you want to listen the Python talks, go for talkpython.fm in your computer. Then go for Python meetup. So these are all about the Python language where you want to learn something. And so in the next classes and next video, we'll learn the Python language step by step. That's all for today. Thank you so much.